Yo, what's up, everybody? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now, number one, that photo I used to get you to click on this video, that's probably pretty triggering. Do not worry. I was not injecting myself with the Bic round stick. Didn't happen. I inhale. I didn't inhale. Right. That's the Clinton line. All right. That being said, that's just like a clickbait. Right there, you go, just to get you to listen. Now, what happens? Former UFC heavyweight champion Fabricio Werdum fails, apparently, a USADA out of competition drug test. What does that mean? That means the former UFC heavyweight champion was just notified by USADA, the world leader in drug testing, that he had a flag on his drug test. I'm using my words very carefully here because it's important to note until the full information comes out, it's not fair to condemn Fabricio Werdum, right? We don't know anything. We just know that he was notified of a possible failure to an out of competition drug test. I believe it was taken April 25th, about a month or so ago. What's unfortunate, two unfortunate things. First unfortunate thing is yesterday it was announced that Fabricio Werdum would be fighting Russian Alexander Alexei Olenek in Russia on the Moscow card in September. Huge fight, the first time the UFC had ever been to Russia to hold a promotion. Fabricio Werdum, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. You look at his resume, you cannot take that away from Fabricio Werdum. His accolades on the world level in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu are impeccable. And then his resume in the world of mixed martial arts is outstanding. Fabricio Werdum, truly one of the greatest heavyweight mixed martial artists of all time. The second part that sucks is this taints his legacy. It taints his image. Now, could this be another bullshit USADA fuck up? Because there's many. Now, USADA is not the white prince in this situation or any situation. USADA has a lot of dirty fucking blemishes on their record. At the same time, USADA is the best in catching out of competition drug tests, or in catching cheaters, I should say, out of competition, in competition. USADA is the very best at this, but USADA is flawed, and USADA makes a lot of bullshit administrative executive decisions, which is not moral or ethical or professional, in my opinion. And I always point to the retroactive TUE, therapeutic use exemption, that Floyd Mayweather received some 23 days after getting caught illegally utilizing intravenous rehydration techniques, which is also one of the most popular ways to mask drugs. I'm not blaming Floyd that he was trying to mask drugs, but he broke USADA code, and USADA gave him a retroactive exemption. That's the bullshit part of it. Why is Floyd allowed, and then Lyoto Machida gets fucking suspended for 2 years for taking an over-the-counter keto or DHEA product purchased at Whole Foods? Very similar to vitamin D. Very similar. Those who understand DHEA, very similar to vitamin D as its power and potency. Machida, who discloses that when asked, doesn't think he's doing any wrong, gets a 2-year suspension. Floyd Mayweather cheats, in my opinion, I believe by USADA code, breaks USADA code, and USADA just wipes it away. That has to be said also. Now, Werdum allegedly pissed hot. I believe it was probably a pee test, maybe a blood test. I don't know. I wasn't there on April 25th. Out of competition. Now, out of competition has a less stringent list than in competition as far as what you can take. Marijuana, weed, THC being one of the issues. USADA doesn't really care if you have THC in your system, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks before a fight, out of competition. If the 24 hours before, or I believe it's this 3 or 6 hours, maybe 12 hours after a fight, in that time period, that's in competition. And that's a big no-no. So it's a more lax list. Out of competition is my point. What did he fail for? We don't know yet. It's not caffeine, because in competition, too high levels of caffeine is actually banned, illegal. You can actually get a multi-year suspension for having caffeine. Jesus Christ, USADA would put me in jail. I'd be in Gitmo right now for the amount of caffeine in my blood. But that being said, back to the point at hand. Werdum was notified, and this is serious business. Now, this is serious business. He was notified of a potential doping violation. Most likely, I haven't seen the report yet. He will be pulled from the Russia UFC card. Maybe it'll be like he'll be pulled officially, but still tentative, pending what USADA's final review is. We'll probably see that anywhere within the next, 3 days to 2 weeks, depending on how USADA posts. There have been some instances where USADA doesn't disclose what the actual athlete popped for. Maybe the burden is on the athlete to disclose or not to disclose to the public. So we'll have to wait and hear that. Now, Werdum's manager, Ali, I apologize for not being able to say his name correctly, but I don't want to do that. So let me say his name correctly. So Ali, one of the top managers in MMA, works with Khabib Nurmagomedov, works with Kelvin Gastelum, just works with all of the top athletes. And Ali Abdelaziz, apologies for the pronunciation. Hopefully he can have me say it correctly. But still, he came out and said, hey, we're just hearing about this right now. Werdum did nothing wrong. He didn't ingest anything that is banned. And we're working with the UFC and USADA to get this corrected. And he's confident that this will be corrected swiftly. That's important also, right? You can't just report one part and just kind of throw Werdum straight under the bus. So you have to say, hey, Werdum he was notified. We don't know what it was. USADA's fucked up before, but they're usually spot on fucking correct. The manager's saying, hey, nothing came wrong here. Just wait a while. We'll tell you the full story. So we have to wait just a little longer to truly understand and form an opinion on what happened. This is me reporting to you in real time, trying to be as fair as possible. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate if it was a false positive. That sucks. That's bullshit, because then USADA or then Werdum will always kind of have that little asterisk in people's minds, not on paper, in people's minds, because most people they just read headlines. Most people will not even listen to this video. They'll see the stupid headline and then they'll form an opinion, or they'll go to ESPN or MMA Junkie or MMA Fighting or USA Today or all the other news outlets. They'll read one headline, see a photo, and say, "Oh, he took drugs," and move on. They won't read the context. So hopefully, by me telling you guys a little bit more, you'll have more context. You'll reserve opinion. I don't know Werdum. I don't work with Werdum, never worked with Werdum. I don't know if I've ever worked with any of his teammates. I've seen him around a few times socially, like I do thousands of the professionals over the last 2 decades in MMA. He's always been super cool. He's always been a gentleman, always been very polite to me. So I like Werdum. And I think he's an amazing athlete. I watch Fabricio Werdum fights. I sit down on my sofa and I watch that man fight. That's important. So I have the utmost respect for him as an athlete. He's always been really cool on a personal level. So we don't know. I'm not forming judgment just yet. I'm not forming judgment. Hopefully this all washes away and it was some sort of bullshit mistake. We shall see what happens. So that's the MMA news. I'm going to try and bring you guys MMA news also. I mean, this channel is really for a little bit of everything. You guys drive the channel, your comments, your questions, and even your requests. That's what drives us. More people wanted to see more MMA, more insider input into MMA. So I'm going to start talking about more MMA stuff also on here, not just health and fitness and weight loss and making gains and combat, like more combat sports, definitely hardcore strength training, high level nutrition and exercise science information. I will talk about finance. I've been getting lots of business inquiries on here, so I'll start talking more about business to you guys, which is really cool. I always forget about that aspect to our global business, and then just let you guys drive the channel. So let me answer a couple questions and I'm going to jump off, and I have got a follow-up video I think you guys are really going to like. So Cal Seth, what's up, man? Thank you. Paul Thomas, I appreciate it. Dan Skinder, hello. Roman Graham, what's up, my man? Columbia's in the house. Seth, do you think USADA goes too far for not allowing IVs? Yes, USADA actually conflicts its own information. On USADA's website, there's a link to a scientific study that most of us understand, where it says that oral and intravenous rehydration have the same benefit up to approximately 7% of dehydration levels, which means if you weigh 200 pounds, you dehydrate 7% of your body weight. That's 14 pounds. That gets you down to 186. So if you weigh 200, you get down to 186 or so. Oral or IV rehydration is going to be about the same. Above 8% of above, IV rehydration is preferred and more beneficial, and it's more healthy. Now, USADA doesn't talk about that. They just straight ban it. But the UFC has a cap. When athletes get to fight week on Tuesday, the UFC cap is 8%. They expect athletes to show up at 8%. That comment right there completely contradicts the whole conversation. USADA's own science says above 7% or 8% and above, the UFC expects their athletes to show up 8%. So every athlete who shows up at 8% or greater likely should benefit, will benefit, needs medicinally, needs an IV for their optimal health. So I could go through a whole conversation. We have tons of research on this supporting it. So I think hopefully that's your answer. Alex, hello, Alex. I got the 12-week program. I start June 3rd. Boom, Alex. I'm on day 18 into the 12-week, 3 weeks of shredded and living lean bundle. I'm down 20.2 pounds. Bam, look at that. Look at that. The bicep of truth never lies, ladies and gentlemen. Bam, never lies. Down 20.2 pounds in 18 days, the first 18 days of the 12-week program. My goal is to lose 21 pounds in 21 days. I got 0.8 pounds to get there. I'm going to crush that. Most likely, I'll wind up losing 25 pounds in the first 21 days. This is all at thedolcediet.com, our online program. And I'm going to continue on. Once I hit that goal, and I haven't even started to dehydrate or water deplete. I haven't done any of those yet. This is completely nutritionally. I still have my salt. I still have my water. I still have my carbs. My breakfast this morning and nearly every morning was almost 100 grams of carbohydrates from oats and berries and seeds and, other, fresh, fresh food items. Let me continue moving on. I'm sorry. Mike saw Werdum benching 500 pounds last year. Holy shit. That's insane. He's a big motherfucking dude, man. He's a scary dude. Marilyn Dixon. What's up, Coach Marilyn Dixon? How are you guys doing? Excited. Bob's kept me up to date, so I know you are getting ready to crush it. You're going to kill it, Marilyn. Grace Chan. I just finished eating skinny sumo stir fry. Cheers to you, Grace. Justin, Werdum needs to get off the juice and into the squats and steaks. Let's not make any accusations just yet. Let's wait for the information. I think that's important, but I understand you're being satirical and being funny, and we appreciate humor over there. Paul Thompson, Till or Thompson for this fight this week, and I'm going to say Till. And here I never pick fights, but that's boring, right? I don't know. I'm going to say Till. Because he's young, he's hungry, he's pissed off, he's an up-and-comer. Stephen Thompson's awesome. I think Darren Till is a little too violent. And I think he has the skills to not get overwhelmed by Thompson, and he has the violence in him to actually get his hands onto Thompson and probably turn him into a dogfight. In a dogfight, Till wins. In a point battle, Thompson wins. So it's a really good battle of styles. Chapin, what's up, Chasen? USADA started testing Werdum after seeing the speed at which he cracked Colby with the boomerang. A guy's age shouldn't be able to crack a boomerang that quickly. Chapin, I think you are absolutely correct. Once again, all stories find their way back to Colby Covington. Isn't that interesting? Good job, Detective Chapin. Seth, I wish Werdum got to use his ground game more. I hear stories of the gym that are nuts. Yeah, I do know athletes actually who've trained with Werdum. Said it's just why even bother? He's like a completely multiple other species away from the average human. Sparkling water. Excuse me. I drink on the microphone. Apologize for that, but man, I'm getting hoarse in the mouth. You got an ice cream recipe yet? Please, I do. 1 cup of plain Greek yogurt, 1 cup of frozen berries, a tablespoon of chia seeds. Throw it into a blender or a Vitamix and just bzz, 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 kind of pulse it so it turns over a few times until it creates the consistency of ice cream. From there, I take an ice cream scooper, I scoop it out and I click it into a glass bowl, a see-through glass bowl, so it looks beautiful. From there, I might sprinkle on a couple more chia seeds. I might drizzle a little raw honey on there and then serve it to whoever. It is amazing. Try it. Paul Thompson, Tiller Thompson answered that. Marilyn, dude, we expect your ass here next year and hunting with us. I am in. Now, what do you guys go hunting with? Are you bows or rifles? Let me know, because I'm getting better. But I'm not proficient enough nor confident enough to ever take a shot in such a scenario. So I'm still skilling up my craft. Carlos, any benefits to doing list or hit at night after your last meal? There is a benefit. but not for most people, not for regular people. If you're getting ready for some sort of competition or like deadline, then yeah, maybe, excuse me, you can squeeze out just a little more percentage possibly, but it might interfere with your sleep. I wouldn't suggest that. What we like is we like that cardio being done first thing in the morning on a fasted state, relatively fasted state. We like our resistance to be a few hours later after at least 2 feeding sessions, possibly 3. I prefer, and a lot of the science shows, between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. is a great training time for the average American adult, simply because you're not overstressed from your day. You're not overexerted from your day. You got some meals and you things are still kind of going. Your energy is still on a peak. And then, you hit that like 1, 2 post lunch and things start to crash. By the time work's over, you've been there for 8, 9 hours. Now you got to go to the gym. It's a little harder, even psychologically. Hope that helps. Hungry is right. Paul Werdum got that big 500-pound bench. I didn't know that. That puts him in a whole nother world. Rifle. All right, Marilyn, right on. Jay saying, what can I put in a gallon of water to get proper electrolytes for BJJ? Himalayan sea salt is excellent. Fresh lemon juice or lime juice and a little bit of raw honey. Perfect. Been practicing with a bow. Right on, Jason. Can't you also fail the test for Tylenol in competition? There are. And I don't know, as I sit here right now, I don't know exactly what that list is. Our athletes don't take anything, specifically fight weed. And ever in the circumstance that they did, we call Jeff Nowitzki and we say, hey, Jeff, so-and-so's got a runny throat. And usually it's because of like allergies or something like that. They got allergies. They're in a new city. It's like pollens everywhere. It's like different horticulture, I believe that's the term. And they get some sort of allergy, or they're stuck in like the Las Vegas hotel with the recirculated air and they get really dry nasal passages. So in that circumstances, we will always contact the UFC. And usually the UFC has some approved type of over-the-counter medicine readily available. Mike Lee, what's your question, man? I don't see any Mike Lee questions. Oh, Chael Sonnen often said that professional sport, there I see it, is for people between the age of 18 and 25. After that, your body breaks down and PEDs are needed. Is it true from my experience? Do you? It is true from your experience. Do you agree? No, I don't agree. I don't agree, but things change. And I don't want to take Chael, because Chael says a lot of stuff. I don't want to take Chael out of context here. So I'll just add my own information. 18 to 25 is one of the most anabolic times in a young man's life. And likely a female also, but let's speak about just men right now. The amount of natural hormones coursing through a man between puberty and mid-20s is better than any sort of pharmaceutical, any sort of injectable. You cannot reproduce what the Mother Nature allows. Look at the way a man changes between freshman year in high school and senior year in college. We're talking about that relative 8-year period or so. From there, it does become more difficult based upon what your goal set is, because at that point, then you don't have a lot of skills. You don't have a lot of experience. You have that regenerative anabolic ability, but you don't have the wisdom or the practical experience to utilize it effectively. That's why we see in MMA, in mixed martial arts, most of the most successful athletes are typically late 20s and early 30s, right around 32 or so, 28 to 32. But on the backside of 30s, early 30s, that's where most athletes do their best. That's where they peak, because they've taken good care of their body over that last 5-8 years or so since they dropped off from the anabolism cycle. And they've had the experience, a decade plus of experience, to now start to utilize just the timing and the ability to showcase all their skills. Now, if you're talking about building muscle, well, yeah, that's like a bodybuilder for sure. If you're talking about healing, like when you're in 18 to 25, for sure, it's almost impossible. That's why the older guys, man, I spend 15 minutes warming up for a 15-minute workout, and 15 minutes warming up and cooling down for a 15-minute workout. That's why I have an infrared sauna in my house and a cold water immersion tub, massage and foam rolling and all that other shit. It gets a lot harder. When you're a kid, you don't need to do that. So I think that answers Mike. True, I guess Ronaldo is a good example of taking care of one's body to perform at the highest level. I know Ronaldo is a soccer player. I don't know much about him. So I'll say, yeah. All right, guys and girls, we're at the 20-minute mark. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to post this video right now. Feel free to leave more comments below, and I'll be back in about 5 minutes. I have a new topic to talk to you guys about. And I think you're all going to be very interested. Go to thedolcediet.com and start your own 4 or 12-week online personalized training plan. And to use my promo code DolceTube, you will save 10%. Why not? Get in amazing shape, save some cash, go have some consensual sex this summer with all of your willing partners. How awesome can life be? Until next time, boom.